Now with locations in Gainesville and Ocala, our board-certified specialists provide the expertise you need to get moving again. Don't let a sprain, strain, or minor fracture keep you or your kids sidelined. Turn to UF Health OrthoCare. Visit ufhealth.org/orthocare locations for addresses and hours. Walk-ins welcome.
The Tailgate with Chef Cardozo and Pat Dooley is on the air.
Let's do it. It's go time.
You can be part of the show by calling 392-TALK. That's 392-8255.
You know, if I'm saying something to you, I don't say to you, I'm going to say something to you, and then say it. I just say it.
Or hit the guys up on social media by tweeting to @JeffCardozoUF and @Pat_Dooley. The grill is hot and the beverages are ice cold. It's time to tailgate. Here are Jeff and Pat.
All right, good afternoon, good morning, good night at Wiedersehen. I saw a movie, by the way, Jeffrey. I am Pat Dooley, he is Jeffrey Cardozo, and this is the Tailgate, and we're happy to be here. We had a lot of fun yesterday, but we're happy to be here today. But I saw a movie, it was called Running on Empty, but it wasn't like the Running on Empty when it was River Phoenix. It was a new movie.
Isn't that Jackson Brown?
Yes, it was his song, but it was good. It was pretty good. It wasn't great. It was good though.
Well, what is great?
They kept saying that.
What is great is if you're tuning in on our YouTube channel, you can see how good Pat looks in his new glasses. I just noticed them. I haven't gotten to see them.
Finally got them back today. Yeah, pretty excited about it.
So now I can't flick you off from the side. You'll actually see it.
Let me tell you what. It doesn't make that much difference. The biggest thing with my glasses, it sharpens my vision, regular vision, but I can read. And I was wearing readers to write my columns and stuff, and it was getting to be a little much. But thankfully, $430 later, I've got new glasses.
Well, hopefully they work. And hopefully, which I know is for a fact, but they raised way more than $430 yesterday for a great cause, the Ronald McDonald House. It was fun being out at Spurrier's yesterday. If you missed it, of course, you can always go back and listen to the show. Coach was on, I guess, about 5:30 or so. And then we had Shane Matthews and Graham Hall and talked to the executive director of the Ronald McDonald House and talked about a sweet bourbon that Spurrier was signing. Those things went quick. And
yeah, they did.
I know there was, I guess, Maya told me afterwards, and we were hyping it up so much, there was actually a couple of people that went to the Good Pour to buy these bottles and not to Spurrier's.
Oh.
So there was some confusion there, and we apologize for that. But if they hopefully made it to Spurrier's and were able to get the bottle, because by the time we started talking about it.
And if they have any left, I'm sure
no, they don't.
They're done?
Yeah, they got rid of those pretty quick.
That's good, because they were expensive, but it is good bourbon.
It's autographed by Steve Spurrier. That's more important than the bourbon.
That's the thing. You go up and somebody goes to your liquor cabinet or whatever. I don't know if you have a liquor cabinet at your house.
Sort of.
Yeah, that's the way ours is. It's not a cabinet, but it's up there. And you go to reach for that Four Roses signed by Spurrier, and they go, oh, no. That's special occasions.
Yeah.
So what would be the special occasion for you?
Kid getting an A on a test. Let's see, what else would be a special occasion? Jamil just had a baby girl, so that could be something special there. So that would be fun. Let's see. Gators beating Texas. That would be a pretty cool thing if they can pull that off. So, yeah, many different things could be special occasions. And always special when you get to actually see what we look like, not only listen on the radio. You can tune into our YouTube channel. All you have to do is, when you go to YouTube, search WRUF, Home of the Gators, and you can leave comments, and we will talk about those comments, certainly go back and forth, another way to engage and interact, subscribe for free, very easy to do. So, again, WRUF, Home of the Gators on YouTube, and that is a way that we can start to be a part of things. We're going to get Andy Staples talking some college football here in just a few minutes. Fun to chat with Andy, who doesn't look like an offensive lineman, but he was an offensive lineman way back in the day, and that is it is crazy because, I mean, there's other guys. Gosh, you look at Phil Troutwine now, who's the offensive line coach up at Penn State. Like, you wouldn't have been able to tell that he was an offensive lineman. Like, he's skinny. He's a tall drink of water like I am now.
We were comparing weights.
Cooper Carlisle.
Yeah, Cooper looks
no
great.
longer like a big offensive
Brad
lineman.
Culpepper was a big guy, and now he's really thin.
And that's what I don't get. Obviously, some of these offensive linemen, they stay big, and you can always tell that that's what position they played. But, I mean, you wouldn't have been able to tell that Andy Staples was an offensive lineman if you look at him now.
No. Well, he's worked hard to lose some weight. He was still kind of heavy for a long time, but now he's looking good.
So
it's Troutwine and I, when I had him on my podcast, I said, "What do you weigh now?" And he told me, and I said, "That's what I weigh."
Really?
I can't believe that. So we both have gone in the right direction.
So two finely tuned athletes.
Well, one
chatting
finely
with each
tuned
other.
athlete and one guy with 2 artificial knees and artificial hip and bad vision. Other than that, I'm a great athlete.
No shoulder surgeries?
Never have had one.
Do you feel like you need one?
No, I don't. My shoulders are fine.
It just doesn't matter enough? Can you lift
But they don't.
Can you lift a 25-pound dumbbell over your head?
I'm sure I could. I do a little bit.
Do
of
that at the
weights.
gym?
Yeah, they don't do that, but I do some other things.
We should try it.
Okay, I'm going to work on that, Jeff. I'm going to work on getting my.
Then the ladies will be next to you and be like, "Oh, hey, Pat Dooley, how you doing?"
Yeah, ladies are not worried about me.
Well, this guy never had a problem getting the ladies back in the day when he was a stud playing for the Gators. Now he just talks about football all the time. Andy Staples is joining us here on the show. Andrew, what's up, man?
Cardozo, the ladies do not care how much you can lift. They have no interest in that. My son's learning that the hard way now that he's in high school, and he's started to work out with the football team, and he's like, I had a deadlift PR today, and the girls are like, we don't care.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
You know who cares? Your coach cares. That's who cares.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's when you were playing here, that's what happened. Of course, Andy's at On 3 now and doing a great job. And are you you're the star of any given Saturday. You and Brian Kelly. I've only 3 episodes in, okay? But you two have dominated the video on that.
I feel like Diego Pavia had a nice run in episode 3. He did a good job.
But yeah, Brian Kelly, it's like weird, like almost like Brian Kelly said, "Hey, come in here and do this, and I'll talk to you, and I'll give you everything you want." And maybe it didn't help him with his season.
I think that's exactly what happened, and I was actually surprised because LSU is at the level of program that doesn't have to do that really. I think Vanderbilt, you kind of want to give them all you can. South Carolina, you want to give them all you can. And you notice Oklahoma didn't participate, Georgia didn't participate, Texas didn't participate. Like, I kind of figured the level of access would kind of depend on the pecking order. But LSU and Florida both said, you know what, come on in. Mm-hmm. You come see it all. And I think, I don't know how the Florida people felt about it before it came out because they got to see it before it came out. But I think if they didn't like the way they're portrayed, once they got the feedback from the people who watched it and the fans who watched it, I think they probably came around on it because I thought the Florida one made, well, one, Graham Mertz, you realize how awesome that guy is.
Yeah, amazing.
But I thought Billy Napier came off incredible in that episode.
I think Billy comes off incredible anytime he's speaking to the media. Anytime he's involved in that kind of situation, what he's got to be able to do is translate all that good stuff
into winning.
And winning games.
But
yeah. But the thing is, you got to see that, though.
Yeah.
You got to see the behind the scenes, and they're behind the scenes at some of the worst moments, and then you see it turning into some of the best of last season. And I've talked to the folks over there about this because I think it's interesting because we were very critical of Billy for the way he was building it and saying, hey, don't you know there's a transfer portal now? Don't you know you could do this faster? Other programs are turning things around faster. But the thing is, if they don't have a bunch of guys that they recruited that are their guys, I think those guys quit on them.
Yeah, they fall apart.
After that A&M game last year. And they didn't quit. They got better as the season went. I've never seen a team do what that team did.
But Andy, I obviously get a little extra access being in there, and I get to hear Napier addressing the team, and I was really excited when they showed that conversation of him saying exactly that, because after and hearing it live, I said, man, this is awesome that he's actually in here saying, hey, let's not worry about the outside noise. We need to stick together. We need to do this. Don't let anybody tear you apart. And to me, I thought it helped him each and every week. And like you're saying, obviously it turned around and, things got so much better. But I don't know if there's many coaches that are going to go to a team like that. And I know certainly the previous coach here at Florida would have not reacted that way when things were going like that. So for him to do that and have all these young guys buying into him when things weren't going all too well, I think it hopefully then makes Florida fans now root for the guy even more, knowing that it could be something special if they could just start winning some games.
But here's the deal. They're going to root for him. They're gonna go into the season rooting as hard as they can for him. And if he goes 6-6 again, they're gonna want him fired.
Sure.
That's just the reality of the situation. And so I think it's a tough one because Florida, Oklahoma, both of those this year, the schedules are brutal. And it's one of those things where things can go downhill real quick if they do. But also if you're good, you can make the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
If you can compete with the teams on your schedule, if you're Florida, you can make the playoff. And I think that's what makes this season so interesting.
No, it is, and I've said this, and I'll see if you agree with me, and you may or may not, because Alabama went 9-3 last year, didn't make the playoff. But I think if Florida can win the 6 games, I think they should win, and I'm including Tennessee and FSU in there.
Right.
And then split the other 6. I think they're in because I think those 3 wins are going to be pretty impressive wins.
Well, the thing is, if you're so I keep lumping Florida and Oklahoma together because I think their schedules are kind of equally difficult. But the thing is, in both cases, if they're 9-3, they've beaten at least one and probably 2 playoff teams. Yeah. And then you're going to go, okay, how many other teams in the country beat 1 or 2 playoff teams? And there won't be very many.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that's exactly. So let's mention the other team you were talking about, LSU. It's got to be big for Brian Kelly too. Obviously you start off with Clemson, and Dabo thinks they're going to go undefeated, and all this stuff going on. But I mean, how big of a year is it for him? Because the last 3 years, it's 3 losses is the best that they've done.
Yeah, it's huge for him. It's weird because I'm pretty sure they can't afford the buyout. So I don't think it's a concern where he's like, oh, I'm going to get fired if I go 8-4. But that fan base will just completely bail if you go 8-4. Yeah. That's not good enough there because by year 4, the last 3 coaches had won a national title. And so it becomes just a thing this is just not acceptable here. We hired you because we thought the last guy who led us to a national title wasn't good enough and that you were, just being held down at Notre Dame and the advantages you got at LSU were going to produce a national title. Well, it's not that way. And they're not going to accept 8-4. They might not accept 9-3. And again, they don't have the money to fire him. But 9-3, not making the playoff, the fan base will turn on him.
Well, and as you know, a lot of it comes down to what your NIL money is going to be. And if the NIL guys are saying, the guys with the big money are going to say, hey, you know what? No.
You're watching that happen at Auburn right now.
Yeah.
You're watching it happen at Auburn right now. That's exactly what happened to Florida last year. And it's funny because these Auburn people keep saying, well, it's not the same thing. I'm like, it's exactly the same thing, guys. If you guys win a bunch of games and it's clear Hugh Freeze is coming back, then the money tap will get turned on again and you'll be able to get whatever recruits you want. Florida did that too. They didn't know if Billy was coming back, so they were really reluctant to put really competitive offers on the table. As soon as they knew Billy was coming back, they started putting competitive offers on the table, and lo and behold, dude started flipping.
Yeah, and they got another big one yesterday, so they've moved up in the rankings, certainly. But I did want to ask you, because we like to play this game, Would You Rather? And so I'm going to give you a couple here. Would you rather be in the press box for Clemson, LSU, or Ohio State versus Texas?
I actually have that choice and have made that choice. I'm going to Clemson LSU.
There we go. I figured you had. So I
So, but it's not for as interesting a reason as you think. My son is playing in an away game in Jacksonville the night before, and so
not that far. Yeah.
Go to Jacksonville, drive home, then try to get to Columbus, Ohio for a noon kick on Saturday morning, which can be done.
Game, yeah.
There's a Tampa to Columbus flight that leaves Tampa at 6 a.m., but that essentially means I get back to Gainesville, drop the family off, and I drive to the Tampa airport and catch the plane, and so I don't sleep for like 36 hours. Or I can drive separately from the fam, leave from the away game, drive north, and be in Clemson in plenty of time to watch the early games, and then cover LSU Clemson.
It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, smart choice.
I don't know which one I'd rather be at, to be honest with you. It's a tough call for me. I mean, it's 1 versus 2.
It's LSU Clemson for me because it's one of those that there could be an epic meltdown.
Yeah.
Kind of either way, depending on what happens. I don't think Ohio State and Texas, whoever loses, you can be like, whatever, we're still going to make the playoff.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Brian Kelly could pound the table again like he did after last
I know. That's part of the reason I want to go.
Yeah,
I was not there for that in Vegas. I was there the year before when they got beat by Florida State in Orlando, and that was a tense press conference.
Yeah. Yeah, as you talk about that, are there any others that really stand out? You're like, you were there, Pat could say, hey, I was at Mike Gundy when he said I was a man, I was 40. Even though he wasn't there, but something like that. Do you remember any just crazy moments that you were a part of in the media room?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've been at any of the particularly insane press conferences. I mean, the one that did the most, kind of numbers recently for me was I was there when Billy talked about the guys in the basement, the North Central Florida basement.
Yeah.
But I don't think, because I've been to some of the classic games. Like I was at the Vince Young Rose Bowl. I was at the Boise State Oklahoma Fiesta Bowl. I was on the sideline at 2nd and 26 when Tua threw Devontae Smith for the national title. I've been at some of those. I'm trying to remember just insane press, because I always wish I could have been at some of those, some of the really classic ones. Jeff, you may not remember this. I know you'll remember this, Pat. Do you remember when John Chaney charged in and started trying to choke John Calipari?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And I was really upset that he didn't succeed in doing that. Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine if the internet or social media existed when that happened?
Well, the funny thing is the most insane press conference I was ever at was when you were still in high school, I think. And that was when Spurrier told everybody, shut off your
was that when he was mad at Chris Harry?
He was mad at Chris Harry for calling Jack Jackson at home, and he'd been suspended. And he goes, either you're for us or against us. And he started choking up. And Clarkson Hines, and we always make fun of him for that. But it was bizarre, I will say that.
Wow.
And John Romano sitting right next to me, and he goes,
I'll give you one.
We're not for you or against you. We're journalists. We're not neither one.
Yeah.
Which doesn't compute with Steve Spurrier. I will give you one, and this is one you have to have a really good memory for SEC basketball. But I was a beat writer covering Tennessee in my first job, and the first year on the beat, Tennessee started off 14-0, and then just kind of spiraled down and wound up an 8 seed, losing in the first round of the tournament. But their best player was a point guard named Tony Harris, and he had an ankle injury that kept him out of the home game against Kentucky on Valentine's Day. And so he was on the bench in street clothes, and a fight breaks out in front of the Kentucky bench. And Tony Harris sprints from the Tennessee bench to the Kentucky bench to get involved in the fight. And his ankle looked perfectly fine as he sprinted. And so naturally that was the topic du jour. And so Gary Lundy, the late, great Gary Lundy, columnist for the Knoxville News Sentinel, writes a column where he calls Tony Harris a punk. And he says, but he's Tennessee's punk. And Doug Dickey, the athletic director of Tennessee, former Florida football player, calls a press conference that day and says, just rips Gary Lundy from stem to stern for calling Tony Harris a punk. And it was as tense as I can remember.
Yeah, I think it was like the other one would have been the Spurrier one in South Carolina where he called out Ron Morris and goes, "We'll do interviews. They're doing one-on-ones just so he doesn't get any quotes." I mean, that was like you're sitting there going, "What? What? What is going on here?"
Steve Spurrier, Ron Morris, that feud was it wasn't really a feud. It was one-sided and Coach won.
All right, so let me ask you: better feud, Spurrier and Ron Morris, or Spurrier and Larry Guess? They were both right there.
I think they're. I don't know. I kind of side with Coach on them. So it's funny. I grew up in Orlando reading Larry Guess, and it's one of those things where when I was in college, I played a little bit and then ended up working for the Alligator. I had to leave the team to work for the Alligator because you couldn't be on the team and cover the team. And so the Orlando Sentinel hires me as a stringer. And so I finally get to meet all these guys that I grew up reading when they would come up to cover games. And so like Brian Schmitz could have been nicer. Jerry Green was so cool. Larry Guess wouldn't have spit on me if I was on fire.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. So
that is not surprising.
I think that colors my opinion of it.
Yeah. I remember I think it was 94 SEC championship game, and Larry tried to ask a question in the press conference, and Spurrier goes, "Why do you even try?" I'm not going to answer that.
That's crazy.
Hey, it all started with a missed 2-footer that he thought was a gimme, and Spurrier said, "No, you got to put that out, Larry." And he missed it, and that was the beginning. I was there. I played with him that day at the Gainesville Country Club, which no longer is lively.
It's not. We're finishing up with Andy Staples of On 3. And Andy, I want to just ask you the question that the last article you wrote about a first-year quarterback. Could they win it all? The SEC certainly doesn't have a ton of guys that are returning, so a lot of new guys had to come in. So what's the premise behind that, and going about it?
Well, I just was interested because I was thinking, it's been a while since a first-year quarterback won the national title, or first-year starting quarterback won the national title. Because, Will Howard was in his first year at Ohio State, but he started 37 games at Kansas State before that, so he doesn't count. And I said, okay, how many have there been? And I went down the list. It's actually 9 of the last 20 have been led by first-year starting quarterbacks. And so, because we've been talking about this year, I think there's a group of 8 teams that the national champion's probably going to come from. It's the top 8 in the coaches poll and the AP poll, and it's you can put them in any order you want, but it's Texas, Notre Dame, Clemson, Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, Alabama, and Georgia. 6 of those teams are breaking in first-year starting quarterbacks, and the thought is, that gives Clemson and Penn State a huge advantage because they have third-year starters. But the fact of the matter is, if whoever wins the Notre Dame job or whoever wins the Ohio State job, or Ty Simpson, who just got named the QB at Alabama, or Gunnar Stockton at Georgia, if they turn out to be awesome, there's no reason they can't do it. Because if you look at it's not just a bunch of number 1 overall picks. Yeah, that list has Trevor Lawrence and Jameis Winston and Cam Newton on it. But it's also got Jake Coker and Greg McElroy and A.J. McCarron. So guys who were good college quarterbacks but weren't super high draft picks.
No, yeah, exactly. And it's going to be interesting in this league because all 16 teams you look at and you go, "Oh, I like that quarterback," but you still don't know. And that includes
so much unknown to it.
Arch Manning, and now Mateer is involved in this whole gambling. What's your take on that whole thing where apparently his Venmo was connected to a gambling site, or I don't know where that's going to be.
He posted that he in the comments
line,
you can
he wrote sports gambling, which you should never look. Your Venmo should never be public.
Yeah,
your Venmo should be private, period. And his was public, and he's clearly messing around with his friends. Like if you read most of the captions, they're very inside jokey. But he's already come out and said, I've not bet on college sports. And the thing is, I tend to believe him because if he had, he wouldn't say anything. Because if you have, like these schools subscribe to these services, and the sports books do too, because they got to make sure the games are on the up and up. Like they can't have the games be fixed. So if he had, say, an account with one of the online books and had a huge betting history on college sports, they would find it immediately. Like this would be a very different situation than it is now. He's come out and said, no, there's nothing here. Oklahoma said, we're going to do our due diligence, but we feel pretty good about it. So I think it's probably going to be okay. But, again, your Venmo should never be public. And if it is public, just use emojis. Don't say stuff like sports gambling USC versus UCLA.
No, I do the same thing. I always make a funny comment. I don't ever say what the Venmo's really for when I pass it along.
They're coming to look at you.
I strictly use emojis, but mine's private, so you never even know that.
Wouldn't even know. Well, you know Andy. He's great. So read his stuff and certainly listen to him. You're doing that thing every day, right? The
Andy and Ari on 3 every day, and also new podcast that just dropped today. The College Football Inquirer at yahoo.com with Ross Dellinger and Stephen Godfrey. So got a couple shows working, and then I write it on 3 as well. So, you're going to be
You're busy is what you're saying.
Get out.
Yeah. Hey, if you're not busy this time of year, you can't be busy. It's impossible.
Busy is good. Busy is so much better than bored.
Oh, I know so much. Andy, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Great Andy Staples joining us here on the Tailgate. We'll take a break. We'll make Maya do something, answer some phones. We'll get that going. Titan MRI and Imaging Hotline, 392-8255. Come join us here on the Tailgate.
If it's happening with the Gator Nation, hear it here first. ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF.
Hey, Jamil, I was going through my cards the other day, found an 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr., which is like the coolest card ever. I think I need to get it graded to see if I'm like a millionaire someday.
Jeff, come on, you knucklehead. Like, if you've been listening to the Mealy Pod Hobby podcast, you'd realize the corners on your card are bent. There's a giant crease down the middle, so I don't know if I really want to grade that one.
I did not protect the right way, but those are all the things you learn with Jamil and I on the Mealy Pod Hobby podcast. And Jamil, it's awesome, too, because you brought in so many knowledgeable people from the sports card industry.
Yeah, we have card shop owners. We have people who've created dynamic systems for evaluative methods. We have people like Gary Vee, Josh Luber, enterprising folks.
We've bring on a lot of athletes as well. We've had DJ Lagway, Brady Singer, Laura Rutledge, the former Gator, Lochte and Dressel, and just all these Olympians. So it's a fun time to be had. All you got to do is listen each and every week.
You can find us on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, or if you like video, check us out on YouTube or Facebook, the Mealy Pod Hobby Podcast.
You see the more than 70 bright green trucks all over town making sure our neighborhoods go from cluttered to clean. But what you may not know is there are more than 130 employees at GFL whose hard work and dedication deliver quality services to each and every one of you throughout the year. Rain or shine, regardless of the elements, GFL employees pride themselves on knowing what they do is crucial in our community, and they are looking to add fine folks to their ever-growing team. So if you want to be a part of the 4th largest provider of environmental solutions in North America, look into joining the Green Team here in Gainesville by checking out the career section at gflenv.com. Country fried sirloin, herb-crusted chicken, chicken critters, pulled pork, pork chops, sirloin steak. Do I have you salivating yet? Well, those are just a few of the things you can scarf down on the early dine menu at Texas Roadhouse. And best of all of that, only $12.99. It happens every Monday through Thursday from 3 to 5, so grab some grub and then head home and listen to the Tailgate all the way until 6. And even though that's early dine, the staff of the Texas Roadhouse will wine and dine you 7 days a week with a menu made for many. Texas-sized combos, succulent steaks, and burgers that are as big as Gator sports are just the start. And speaking of starting, their fresh baked bread with honey cinnamon butter is waiting. So what are you waiting for? Get over to the Texas Roadhouse and wash it all down with some beer, wine, or the coolest cocktails around. AJ and the crew are ready for you. It's just west of the interstate off of the Archer Road exit, so hit the road for the Roadhouse. Your taste buds will thank you. I'm a man. I'm 40. And even though Pat is about double that, and we don't agree on lots of things, we both can appreciate the impact of something special on the Gainesville community. For more than 40 years now, Quality Plumbing has been proudly supporting countless local organizations and, of course, the Florida Gators year in and year out. And, by the way, they're pretty good at plumbing, too, setting the standard in the industry with reliable service and the results you can count on. So when your next plumbing problem pops up, don't stress. It's never a problem to pick up the phone and call Quality Plumbing 24/7, day or night. Quality Plumbing, where service, trust, and community come together. License number CFC 043073.
Well, we know it is crazy hot outside, so Oaks Jewelry said, let's bring everybody inside and have a sizzling summer sale. They've been bringing you the bling for more than 40 years. Yes, that's 4 decades of sparkle, sass, and some seriously good deals. Right now, get 20% off all color stone jewelry, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, basically all the fancy stuff that makes your friends say, ooh, where'd you get that? They've got diamond earrings and pendants, 20% off. Diamond fashion rings, also 20% off, because who says you can't treat yourself and still afford the groceries? You need a reason to be fashionably on time? You can get 30% off all Citizen watches. They're solar powered, so you'll always be on time, at least in theory. And hey, why wait? Lay away now for the holidays, because nothing says I've got my life together like Christmas shopping in July. It's the Oaks Jewelry Sizzling Summer Sale, celebrating 40 plus years of sparkle, style, and saving you some serious cash.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
It's been a hot afternoon, but we're going to get some cooling thanks to afternoon thunderstorms starting to develop. Already tracking a few storms at this point. We'll see a lot more in coverage as we go through the evening hours. Some of that rain will be heavy at times in some areas, so keep a close eye to the sky. Storms end by about midnight, low of 75. Hot sunshine for tomorrow, but afternoon scattered showers and thunderstorms will be around. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller.
Right now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
I got this on good authority from somebody with the NFL. They're going to get to the 18th game. The 18th game is basically going to be a complete TV package, a separate TV package of you have the international games. And that's how they're going to sell this. You're going to get to an 18th game. It may not happen, over the next 2 years, but we'll get to 18 games. Every team will have a home base outside the United States. Pittsburgh's going to be in Dublin. Germany for the Chiefs. You're going to have Brazil with the Eagles, maybe. Everybody's going to have one of these places. The Jags in London, that's how they want to grow the game. Export it, and then those cities, those countries will embrace that team. That will be their team.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekday mornings at 9, right here on WRUF. From athlete activism to athletic achievements, we have you covered. Your home for every important sports story. ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF, the home of the Florida Gators.
This is Florida Gator head football coach Billy Napier, and you're listening to The Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Pat Dooley, right here on ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF radio app.
All right, we are back here, and appreciate Andy Staples. Andy Staples, I've known forever, for coming on the show, and he's got a lot going on. There's no doubt about it. And of course, if you've not seen Any Given Saturday, the series on Netflix, it's really good. I told you before, I wasn't thrilled with the direction of it. There was a little too much Brian Kelly for me. Now I
didn't watch that one.
3 episodes in, but
only watched the Gator one.
Well, see, I'm trying to watch it all, but I'm doing it slowly. So I have something to watch, because we have nothing to watch. We just got the word, by the way, that I just got a text back from my good friend Titus O'Neill's going to come on the show tomorrow. How about that?
It'll be fun.
That'll be 5 o'clock. So he'll talk about not only Gator football, but his reality show that he's in. My wife will listen to that segment. I'll tell you that.
His son's on the team too, and
yeah,
all the stuff. So yeah, good old Thad.
Thaddeus Bowman.
Kind of crazy. We were in school together.
Number 11,
and we both turned into big, muscular, good-looking guys.
I don't see that
the
same way. No, I don't. I cannot imagine you wrestling against one of those WWE guys.
Wearing a Speedo?
Wearing a Speedo and no muscles.
Like Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
See, I go way back to the
Bring out my 2x4.
The olden days with Dusty Rhodes.
We do have a couple of we do have a couple of comments on our YouTube channel. Again, you can leave those comments. WRUF, home of the Gators. That's all you have to search. Zach says, were you guys at the Will Greer press conference, the McElwain one,
I
talking
was
about Will
not.
Greer. You were not?
I'll tell you why, because I think you remember the story, but we're coming back. It was a Missouri game, was the game, and I'm like, there is something going on with my back of my leg, and it's really driving me crazy. I went right to the emergency room. When I got home, I had MRSA in my leg.
Wow.
So my doctor, I watched the press conference on TV. My doctor, I'm blanking on his last name. Anyway, he did a great job. He kind of, in a way, saved my life
because that wasn't after a game.
No,
that was like the Monday press conference.
It was a Monday press conference, and they brought Will in, and he said, "Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
shouldn't have done it." His dad gave it to him. But,
no, it was a girl that ratted him out.
Yeah, but his dad's the one who talked him into it. That's what I was told by sources close to me.
Told differently from sources close to me.
Okay.
So we'll see whose sources are better.
It doesn't really matter. He was done, and then of course when he wanted to come back, McElwain didn't want anything to do with him anymore. So.
And then we did get another comment from AU Gator, and we didn't get a chance to discuss this with Andy.
Wait, were you at that press conference?
I was there.
You were?
Yeah.
What was your thinking?
I think in the back of my mind, I always thought he was just going to get out of it and everything was going to be fine, and it wasn't going to be a big deal. And it turned into that because I remember I have a picture actually, and that was back when Brady was doing the sideline. So Brady and I are interviewing players, and we had to take pictures for social media, and I actually have a picture interviewing Will Greer from 2 games, like the Ole Miss game, and
where he was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was great that day, and never thought anything of it, and you're just like, damn, this guy just got banged like a couple weeks later.
Well, the interesting thing too was that his brother was this big media sensation, and I talked to his dad, Chad, about talking to him, and his dad was very nice to me, and he hooked me up with him, and it was a big deal for me to write a column about him, and I let my daughter talk to him while I was interviewing him, which is not very professional, but it made her day. Now, I don't know that we've ever heard of anything from him since then, but is Will Greer still with the Cowboys? I don't know.
I don't think so. And then got another comment. We'll look that up because I don't think he is with the Cowboys anymore. AU Gator says, wondering if we could have asked Andy because he wrote an article about the Blue Bloods and why Florida football was not a part of that. So he said that.
I think they were, and I agree with him that they aren't.
But he had Miami, Florida State, and USC in his top 12. So why not the Gators then if you're include Miami and Florida State?
Yeah, I see. I don't consider Miami a blue blood anymore. They were, and Florida State was, but they're not anymore. Florida State's got 3. Florida's got 3.
Yeah.
Florida State has won it in an easier conference. Florida's won it in a harder conference. But I wouldn't put either one of those teams in there. So who would be your blue bloods? I'd Ohio State,
football,
Michigan,
Notre Dame.
See, what do you do with USC? Because they were. Now I don't know
everything.
They are. I think Texas still is. I think. Well, it's hard to come up with because teams.
You got to come up with 12 of them.
Teams go up and down. They go up and down.
And Miami would certainly be because of what they did, the heyday of that program. But what have they done recently? Nothing.
The heyday ended a long time ago.
But then that's like saying Florida basketball is not a blue blood because they weren't good 50 years ago when all these other teams are winning championships. Yeah. But now Florida would be a part of that.
I think it's everything that's happened since 1990 is to consider blue bloods because that to me, and I guess we get
okay, but then Miami should be in there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, I could argue for Miami. It's hard to argue for a 2-10 team from last year. That's always going to be. And I'm trying to get Ira Schaffel to come on and talk about FSU at some point this week. But That's always going to be a black mark on that program. It's never going to go away. Just like 0-10-1. Although 0-10-1, people talk about that like it was the greatest
the coolest
year
thing ever.
Yeah.
Hey, I was a part of 0-10-1.
I was there, man, for 0-10-1. We packed that place. No, you didn't. I looked up the attendance numbers. You didn't pack it.
They were.
You thought you packed it. You didn't pack it.
They were never good.
You
And
had 58,000 for your fourth game of the year.
Zach did write back. He says, yes, Greer still is the third-string quarterback for the Cowboys.
Is Cooper Rush still their backup?
He played the other night after Joe Milton.
Oh, Joe
Milton's
Milton.
a big, strong arm. And then we had another guy say, talking to the mic, they can't hear you. Bring that thing up. Act like you're scarfing that thing down, Duels.
Well, you're
used to that.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the phone. Get Andrew next. Andrew, what's up?
Hey, the AP poll, what surprised you, and who's too high and who's too low? I'll hang up and listen. I just want to know what you think about the AP poll.
Okay. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame's a little high. I think Florida's a little high, to be honest with you.
15's high?
15 to me is high for a team.
You don't think the Gators would beat?
To me, 9-3 is kind of the ceiling for that.
You don't think the Gators would beat Kansas State? They played
I don't
head-to-head?
know. I don't know if they would.
I do.
Okay.
So that means they should be ranked higher than Kansas State.
But they are ranked higher than Kansas
They're
State.
17, so that means Florida's not too high.
The Kansas State, here's the thing, and you know you don't like the polls and everything, and I'll bring this up, though, because it's a good argument in your favor. Kansas State and Iowa State are ranked, what, one apart? I think it's Kansas State.
No, Iowa State's 22.
Oh, they were right there in the same area. And they're putting them there. They want them to be ranked for that first game. And they want it to be a game, and the winner will jump up. They are probably the two best teams in that league. But, yeah, I mean, look, do I think Florida's better than those teams? Yes. Do I think Florida's going to end up with a better record than them? Not necessarily.
I think the weird one still, it's hard for me to sit there and look at this when they're on there, and it's got South Carolina at 13. Like, you can't tell me that South Carolina is going to be that good. I mean, obviously you got a quarterback that was pretty darn good, and a lot of people are hyping up, first team All-SEC, all this other stuff, but
yeah.
Can Shane Beamer really get South Carolina, like, to be that good?
That's a good question. I have them pretty high,
run
too.
through their schedule.
But, the schedule's not – look, everybody –
It's not the Gator schedule.
No, everybody in the SEC has a tough schedule except Missouri. And South Carolina did not schedule hard in the non-con. Obviously, they have the Clemson game at the end of the year. I'm trying to think who else they play.
All right, Virginia Tech in Atlanta.
Oh, they'll win that game.
South Carolina State.
Let me tell you what, if they don't win that game, they could end up going right down the tube, and then, you put Shane Beamer on the hot seat.
Yeah. South Carolina State, win. Then they got Vandy at home. Could be a little iffy of a game.
Totally iffy. Diego says they're winning the NC, baby. They're winning a natty.
They got to go to Missouri.
Which is not hard. You've been there.
Yeah, but on
it's
the
still
road.
A road game, but it's not hard. It's not in the cold.
Yeah, it's early on in the season.
And it's not like their fans are going to storm the field because they beat South Carolina.
They try to come on the field in the Gators, Mighty Gators, when they beat them. Kentucky at home.
Win.
LSU on the road.
Tough game there.
Oklahoma at home.
That could be a tough. I'm not convinced Oklahoma's going to be that good.
But listen, then they got – so they go LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, Ole Miss.
Well, this goes back to the discussion I used to have with our good friend Heath Klein all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he believed that I was wrong, but I would look at team schedules before I voted on the AP poll.
I know.
Because I felt like if I look at their schedule and I don't see 8 wins there, I'm not going to rank them. His feeling was, no, you rank what you think the teams are and then you let it all play out. And look, I'm not saying he's wrong and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I just think that's the way I look at it. And that you're right, South Carolina should come down in that ranking and may come down in my ranking too, because I think that is a tough
And then obviously
schedule.
Clemson at the end.
Yeah.
So who
I'm picking to win the national championship.
So then you've got, I mean, that means they have to beat either Vandy at home or Missouri on the road to, like, even win 8 games.
Well,
maybe even 7 games.
Look, Sellers is really good. There's no doubt about it. He's a good player. Is he an elite player? Is he a game-changing guy every game? I don't know that. I don't know whether he is. I saw him change the Clemson game, but it was still – wasn't that game like 17-14 final? I mean, it's not like they were going up and down the field.
So Andrew, I think when you look at a couple of those, and then, I mean, still the unknowns are Arizona State is at 11, which they lost Scatabo.
Yeah, they got Levitt back, but it seems a little high.
Seems high.
But you know my philosophy, if you win your bowl game and you have your
talking,
quarterback coming back.
It's like the Gators.
Yeah.
People are giving that. And then you did say Illinois' schedule really easy.
Oh, it's so
soft. They've got them at 12.
Yeah.
So maybe people actually did their due diligence. And
that sounds – well, and they had a good team. Didn't they win like 10 last year under Brett Bielema?
Yeah.
But they did that, and, yeah, the schedule is soft. I'll look it up during the break. But I didn't even look at it the other day. I just saw it was ranked the fourth easiest schedule in the country. So that tells you how it's not exactly overwhelming.
But if you heard Andy Staples, Andrew, he thinks the teams that are ranked in the top 8, one of those will win the national title. And that means my bet of walking into the Good Pour and Pat having to buy me a $50 bottle of liquor is going to hold up because Notre Dame will beat Miami.
No, they won't.
They're ranked higher?
Well, where's Miami ranked?
10th. Notre Dame's 6th.
Miami could win the national title. I don't agree with him on there's only 8 teams. I think there's like 12 to 13 that could win it all. Because when you have a playoff system, just like we had in basketball, man.
I literally just threw up in my mouth when you said Miami could win the national title.
I'm telling you, they could. I hope they don't. Nobody's going to be rooting harder against them than I am, okay?
Then why would you even speak that into existence?
Because if I jinx them, I'm trying to jinx them. They've got a no-hitter going. Let's just say they got a no-hitter going. Or say.
So you're basically saying because you're rooting for the Braves, you jinx them every year. That's why they can't win.
Apparently so. They haven't won that many. 2.
Chris Sale's coming back. Why? I don't know.
Well, they're 17 and a half out.
Starting his rehab
That was the
assignment.
thing. They swept the Marlins, which I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I go, how much did we gain some ground? No, not one game.
Still like 12 out of the wild card. So
they're done.
It'll be tough. All right, we need a break. We'll do that. Come back and snag a few more calls to wrap up the first hour. You're listening to WRUF.
Live from Weimer Hall on the campus of the University of Florida. ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM. WRUF.
There's so many reasons to love living in North Central Florida. The trees and the breeze are certainly a part of that, but as we have all realized from another round of storms, those things may not be the best for our residents and our roofs. But what is the best is a company that's been fixing things the right way for more than 40 years. That's the locally owned and operated Gainesville McFall Builders and McFall Residential Roofing. They offer the longest warranties in town, a 10-year instead of 5, and all of their workers are employees, no subcontractors that are going to give a subpar effort. There are a lot of people going door to door trying to do things the wrong way with no care about what it does to you. So why don't you go with the crew that uses premium products that are certified by the manufacturers to install? At McFall, you'll get state licensed building contractors for all your home renovation needs. With extra care, protect that pool, lawn, RV, or fancy fire pit during the process. And their process? Well, it's as easy as watching Florida State football stink. You get a detailed walkthrough before anything is even started. Call them today at 352-415-9098. I'm telling you, it'll be great. It's known as a small place with a big taste. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're really missing out. The place that's been voted best cheesesteaks in Gainesville, it's called Big Mills. Serving 100% top butt sirloin, 100% chicken breast on their cheesesteak sandwiches, Big Mills has a big taste. They also offer sausages, hot dogs, burgers, and salads with a baseball theme inside that every diehard is going to want to see. They've also got ice cream and milkshakes to wash it all down, so come on down to 2111 13th Street, right next to Adam's Ribs, and see why Big Mills is a small place with a big taste.
Hey, it's Sean Kelly, voice of the Gators. It's getting a little more difficult to walk into a place without being recognized these days. It's probably because they love hearing me call those great Gators moments on the radio. And honestly, I do know what their favorite call of mine is. Hey, bartender.
What can I get you, Sean?
How about a round of ice-cold Bud Light for everyone here? 4 simple, high-quality ingredients to create a clean, crisp taste. Easy to game day. Bud Light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Celebrate your love this summer at International Diamond Center and get a free romantic getaway on us. It's the Summer of Romance event, now for a limited time at IDC. Make any jewelry purchase over $3,500 and pack your bags for a free trip. It's a great time to get that engagement ring and let IDC buy your honeymoon. Here's how it works. If you spend $3,500, IDC will give you a 3-day, 2-night hotel getaway with a $100 Visa card for spending. Choose from a dozen romantic cities. Or spend $5,000 on her jewelry and IDC will give you a 3- or 4-night luxury cruise for 2. Spend $10,000 and you'll get a 5-day, 4-night stay at an upscale tropical all-inclusive resort. Choose from 4 countries. Listen, if you're getting engaged, celebrating an anniversary, or just want to get away for some romance, IDC has it covered. You buy the ring, we'll give the getaway. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Details and restrictions at shopidc.com. International Diamond Center at Celebration Point.
Electronics World has moved to serve you even better. Hi, this is Tom Collette. At Electronics World, we will continue to give you big box prices with local personal service. In a new spot, 3499 Northwest 97th Boulevard in Gainesville. At EW, you'll find Sony, Yamaha, Marantz, Bowers & Wilkins, Martin Logan, and more. Also visit us online, electronicsworld.net. That's electronicsworld.net.
Don't just stand there. Everything you need to turn $1 into an epic win is in your hand. Hard Rock Bet. Bet it, parlay it, boost it. However you want to do it. From wherever you are to the moon. Bet anytime a line, prop, or parlay catches your eye. And withdraw cash when you want it. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Follow ESPN Gainesville on Instagram, Facebook, and X. Stay up to date with the latest information, interviews, stories, events, and contests. We are ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM WRUF. The Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Pat Dooley continues here on ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM WRUF, and on your phone with the WRUF radio app.
All right, welcome back. Dools and Dozo here with you. A Tuesday edition of the Tailgate. Crazy. Getting closer and closer to football. So certainly fun to talk about it. We'll continue to do that all the way until 6 o'clock tonight. Let's get back to the phones and talk with AG. She joins us next here on the Tailgate. Hey, AG.
Hey, how are y'all?
Great.
I'm sorry. My question is not sports related, but I remember early in the summer, Pat was talking about a documentary that was being done, and he was participating in it, and it was about the 1990 student murders. Pat,
yes.
do you know when that will air and where?
Well, what I was told, it'll be an ESPN 30 for 30, and but it'll be next year before they are able to interview everybody. But they spent about, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours with me at the Swamp. We did it there. But it's about the student murders and Spurrier's first year, how they all kind of came together, and it was just a it was a really tough time to be around here. There's no doubt about it. But
Well, I had just moved here the year in 1989.
Oh wow!
And I was living in an apartment on Williston Road, so I was terrified.
Oh yeah,
And anyway, I just thought it might be airing sometime during the football season, but you say it's going to be next year.
That's what they told me. It was going to be next
Okay.
year. And I will tell you this: I stayed up one night because I had been. And I talk about this in the documentary, but I had been close to the guys who were covering this, and they actually took me to the last crime scene. We didn't get to actually see it, but you still were around it. And so that night I went home and I stayed up the whole night with a bat. And I said, hey, you come on in here. I'm ready for you. Like I would have been able to do anything, you know. But I was scared. I had a daughter and a wife at home, you know, and I didn't.
Yeah, well, the young lady and the young man were his last two, and it was
Manny Tabota's nephew has just joined the GPD, just got sworn in.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, not cool, but I'm just saying he said he wasn't aware of this thing until he read about it and saw things, and then he found out he was related to Manny, and he knew that, but. It was a good story. I read it in the Main Street News, actually. Pretty good story.
I'll be darned. Well, I didn't mean to take away from the sport.
No.
I remember you talking about it, and I had just moved here, and I think it would be very interesting to go back, you know, to that time. I mean, it wasn't fun, but so many people don't know about that. And anyway,
I think it's great that you have that reminder on the wall every day when you go by that.
Yeah, the trees right there.
Yeah, the trees
in the median. So
I just think it's great that they keep that going. And about once every 2 or 3 years, somebody paints over it, you know, and they have to go back and do it all over again. But
well, I'm really glad that someone keeps that up because you know those 5 students. Oh my gosh, what a terrible thing. Anyway, we'll lift our spirits. But I'm sorry.
You're fine.
No,
thanks, AG. Yep. Anything is fair game here
AG,
with us.
Anything you bring up that I'm on TV is good.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I tell you what, if you do find out, you know, when it's going to air.
Yeah. Once I found out, I'll let everybody know. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, y'all have a good day.
Yes, ma'am. You too.
Thank you, AG. Yeah, that was not a good time to be around here.
I bet.
You weren't around here.
Not yet.
Well, how old were you in 1990?
12.
It's hard to believe you're over 12.
I know.
It's really hard to believe I was
12 would have been my Cooperstown year.
12 was when I think I fell off the garbage truck. Did you ever hear about that story?
No.
It was a big deal to get on the back of a garbage truck and ride it around as it went around the corner.
People did, yeah.
And I jumped off at the last minute and fell and hit my head, and they had to take me into the emergency room. My mom loves telling this story. The doctor said, and she goes, "Yeah, he fell off a garbage truck." And the doctor says, "Well, who threw him away?" She loved telling that story.
Good story. All right, we'll tell some more stories and talk some sports, of course. When we come back, whole nother hour is next here on the Tailgate.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app.
You spoke, we listened. You wanted the easiest car buying experience ever. So we're giving you the easiest car buying experience ever. Your schedule doesn't have time for 5 hours in a car dealership. Work, kids, soccer practice, grocery runs, jury duty. Really? That again? Gatorland Toyota puts your convenience at the top of the list. With Express Shopping, you can browse our incredible selection and buy your vehicle entirely from the comfort of your home. Financing, paperwork, trade appraisal, even the pricing can be done remotely. No need to come to the dealership. Gatorland Toyota delivers your new car to you. And what if that car was fully customized? With our pre-order program, it's easier than ever to get the exact vehicle you want, from headlights to trunk. Have a vehicle to trade or sell? Even if you don't buy from us, we'd love to take it off your hands and give you a top dollar offer that you're sure to love. Come experience how Gatto's got it at Gatorland Toyota today. Visit GatorlandToyota.com for the easiest car buying experience ever.
When the unexpected happens, you need a legal team that's ready to fight for you, just like the Florida Gators. At Meldon Law, we're proud to partner with the Florida Gators to deliver winning results for those who have been injured at no fault of their own. With a strong record of success and a team that won't back down, Meldon Law is your trusted partner in tough times. Call Meldon Law at 352-373-8000 or visit us at meldonlaw.com.
It's a hard reality to know you're getting older. Believe me, I sit next to Pat every single day, but we all have to go through it, and with it comes some aches and pains with every single step. But the good part is the pains are fixable, and one quick stop into Titan MRI will get you going in the right direction. There's lots of us out there that think we can just handle pain or it'll just eventually go away, but what you may not realize, you could be ruining yourself for many years to come. I'm telling you, go see Joe and the crew at Titan MRI. Their entire mindset is finding out what you need to feel better and getting it to someone that can fix it. With an average scan time of just 10 to 15 minutes, you'll be back on your way, carrying on your day in no time. Titan MRI is the only locally owned and operated MRI center in Gainesville, and their staff has more than 20 years of experience in the community. And they've been so good that Lake City came calling. They've got a place that is perfect up in Columbia County as well. Even your own doctors are bringing their families to Titan MRI. So get in front of those aches and pains and tell your doctor to refer you to Titan MRI.
Whether it happens on the pickleball court, the soccer field, or when stretching the limits of your yoga flexibility, injuries aren't convenient, but UF Health OrthoCare is. Now with locations in Gainesville and Ocala, our board-certified specialists provide the expertise you need to get moving again. Don't let a sprain, strain, or minor fracture keep you or your kids sidelined. Turn to UF Health OrthoCare. Visit ufhealth.org/orthocare locations for addresses and hours. Walk-ins welcome.
The Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Pat Dooley is on the air.
Let's do it. It's go time.
You can be part of the show by calling 392-TALK. That's 392-8255.
You know, if I'm saying something to you, I don't say to you, I'm going to say something to you, and then say it. I just say it.
Or hit the guys up on social media by tweeting to @JeffCardozoUF and @Pat_Dooley. The grill is hot and the beverages are ice cold. It's time to tailgate. Here are Jeff and Pat.
Yes, we are back for a second hour, brought to you by Meldon Law. They won't back down. This is the Tailgate. We have a great time on this show. We mentioned earlier that tomorrow Titus O'Neill's going to join us. That'll be a lot of fun to talk to him. His son, of course, is on the team. He is a star of a reality show, which Jeff watches every day. I know.
I don't think so.
You know, Jeff, the thing you mentioned.
I used to like The Amazing Race. That was a cool reality show. Just because I like travel and going around.
I've ever really gotten into any of the reality shows.
You know, you were sitting on the couch with Karen.
Tiger King, maybe?
Karen told me last night at Spurrier's that you were really into Love Island with her.
That is the opposite.
She's lying?
I don't have to be.
You're calling Karen a liar?
Well, she wouldn't know because she's usually at the swamp watching it with my daughter, you know. So they have that has become a big deal to go into the swamp restaurant to.
I know.
Now I think it's over for the year, but
it is.
Yeah, but and now there's also a British version they're watching. They're all into that. Summer House, all these reality shows, just pretty girls and pretty guys talking about how they love and hate each other, and then nothing ever happens.
They all become famous.
They do. I don't get it. By the way, we'll take one more call, and then I want to mention the Illinois schedule.
Okay.
Illinois is in the system.
Noise in the system. That call goes to John, who kicks off the hour. John, what's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys. I don't know who I'm more mad at. You guys, Rays baseball, Gator baseball, or Gators football. Probably enough. I'm mad at all you to last me a lifetime. I'm mad at you guys because you took all last week off. I was going to punish you guys by not calling up this whole week for taking all last week off. You guys took off more time in the last 6 months than I did in a 6-year period and my work period before I retired.
Well, we usually take 2 weeks off in the summer, and we only did one, so I don't think that's true.
Yeah, and B, how is that punishing us? You not calling? I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, the same thing as if Cattleman don't call you, because those are your two main callers, me and him.
We miss you. We would have missed you, John.
It don't matter, because next week, guess what? Mr. Russell's coming back, and I'll be able to talk sports to my heart's content. Now, for Rays baseball, they self-destructing again into this year, just like the Gators had last year. I'm mad at them. I'm mad at the Gator football team, because as far as I'm concerned, they could have went 9-3 and went to a playoff game last year, and they didn't do it. They gave up a couple of games they should have won. Tennessee, Georgia, and maybe even Alabama, maybe even Texas. So I'm going to put a hex on them. I'm going to say they're going to go.
John, you do know it was 42-0 at halftime against Texas, so they probably weren't going to win that game.
Now, Georgia and Tennessee, anyhow, I'm going to put a hex on them this year.
Okay.
Quarterback got hurt.
I'm going to call them to go 12-0 and win the national championship. That way, they're sure to choke and go 6-6 maybe if they're lucky. That's what I'm doing this year. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
All right, John. Appreciate it.
I'm a little perplexed. Is he trying to jinx Florida into a bad season?
Yeah, because remember when you talked bad about Gator baseball, they started winning.
Yeah, but he said they're going to go 12-0.
Yeah, that's what I don't.
Yeah, that's a reverse jinx.
Florida's going to be 2-10.
Yeah, Billy Napier's going to get fired in week 7, and they're not going to win. They're going to lose to Long Island. That would be the jinx right there. They're going to lose to Long Island in USF. They'll fire him on the spot.
That would be the way to go about it. All right, if you missed the first hour, you missed Andy Staples, you can always go back and listen to that after the show. Maya will, through the magic of social media, put it out where you can retune in. And quickly during that interview, we did mention the John Mateer thing, and I wonder if I could go on my Venmo right now, because I sometimes do that. I make jokes. Like, if I was going to, let's say you never win the bets that we make, but, if I won a bet and then I had to get $20 from you or something, or let's do the opposite. If you, God forbid, won a bet, because that never happens, and I was paying you $20, I might say, just something funny as opposed to actually what it was really for. So I think that's what he was probably doing. Like, if I went into my Venmo now, I would give you some of the, things that, because, always ask you for an explanation of what it is.
I don't have a Venmo account.
So
Karen always gets mad at me for not doing that. I don't think she has one either. I think she's got a Zelle or whatever.
But it would be just something funny that I would put in there. Like, if you wanted to, pay somebody for golf or something because they spotted you, and, I would put like, massage or something like that.
Let's just say that Notre Dame loses to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So I would put in there, I guess Irish eyes aren't smiling.
Yes, you could do that.
Yes.
But so
also, you'd have to pay me.
Yes. So John Mateer on his Venmo went in and said that the caption was for sports gambling, and that was obviously a no-no. That
when you see that word, just
you can't
log off.
You do have to think better than that if you're a college quarterback at the time.
When you
and
spent all that time at Washington State,
he would have been a freshman at Washington State.
Have any real belief of the world exists? I mean, Washington and Washington State are about Washington State's about the dregs of the universe. It's not a great college town. Let's just put it that way.
It's not.
No, either is Oregon State, and that's why nobody wanted them, right? When everybody was trying,
Oregon State's good at baseball.
No, but when everybody was trying to get in a league, nobody wanted them, and so they ended up having to make their own league, steal all these teams from the Mountain West. Now they're suing them, saying we want our money back. We want our money back. We want our money back.
Well, here is Mateer's statement. It says, the allegations that I once participated in sports gambling are false. My previous Venmo descriptions did not accurately portray the transactions in question, but were inside jokes between me and my friends. I've never bet on sports. I understand the seriousness of the matter, but recognize that taking out of context, those Venmo descriptions suggest otherwise. I can assume my teammates, coaches, and officials at the NCAA that I have not engaged in any sports gambling.
If you've got a public Venmo thing, it's not an inside joke. Inside joke means these are the only people that are going to get it, but also they're the only people that are going to see it. It's not an inside joke.
Well, no, but that's not true because if you're just saying that to one person,
but anybody can read it, then it's not an inside joke anymore because it's
because the inside joke would be that nobody understands what that really is. That's what an inside joke is. Doesn't matter how many people see it, but it's just something that the friend should know about and not anybody else. That's what makes it an inside joke.
But everybody can assume from things, and that's the problem with it. Like it's an inside joke if we talk about how Maya talks a lot during the show. That would be an inside joke.
Sure.
But if I put that out there and wrote it and put it in Venmo, then it wouldn't be inside anymore. It'd be outside. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. All right, let's go to Illinois in the
schedule.
Schedule. I want to give you this one. One of the easiest ones, and this is why I think people should put them high. Western Illinois, they open up with. That's 7:30 on Peacock. I know you're going to have that TV on Peacock that night.
Zero chance.
Also, at that same time, it's a Friday game, though. You may watch that.
I got Friday night rivals.
That's right. Who's the first game?
I don't know.
You just show up.
Yeah.
You say, where do I go? Just point my car to Hawthorne or wherever I'm going. All right, then they got to go to Duke, that's also the toughest game Virginia has on their schedule, at Duke.
Okay.
And you've been, I don't know if you've ever been to Duke for a game. I've been there for a game. At Duke is not a big deal. I can tell you that. It's like at Vanderbilt. Western Michigan.
W.
Indiana. At Indiana. Now, it's a tough game, I would say. USC. Purdue.
USC, like the
Trojans? Southern Cal. But, I don't know how good they're going to be. Purdue. Ohio State. Then they get Washington, Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, Northwestern. The point is they don't play Penn State or Michigan, and I think that's why everybody looks at it as a really easy schedule. You see some pitfalls there. Indiana could be a pitfall. USC could be a pitfall. Certainly Ohio State. I don't know how good Washington's going to be this year.
They can't go 9-3 though and make the playoff with that schedule.
Not with that schedule. I agree with you there. There are about 3 teams that can go 9-3 and make the schedule. I think Florida's one of them. That they are not one of them. Virginia is not one of them. I don't think anybody in the ACC is one of them. Maybe now the other thing is you always have to remember because I'm watching any given Saturday, and they're showing the South Carolina Clemson game is a big focus of the third episode, and I'm like, who won this game? Because Clemson had to have won because they went to the playoff. Oh, that's right, they lost. And then they won.
God help.
They won they won the conference. Because if you win the conference,
Miami,
no, they beat Pitt because Miami screwed up. They lost to Syracuse the week before.
Yep.
These are all things I'm realizing now.
Yeah, you remember
forgot
what
all
happened.
about. Yeah, but it's just look, I still think there are more than 8 teams that could win it all this year. I think somebody can come out of nowhere and do something crazy, kind of like. In a way, Notre Dame did last year. I didn't have Notre Dame as being that great, and I don't have Notre Dame being that great this year. I think they've.
Yeah, but if you say that means LSU is 9. It's not going to be them.
Oh, I think LSU could win it all. There's no doubt. Really, you got an experienced quarterback. You've got so much talent. I think I'd put them in the top 3 in terms of pure talent. Now it's a question of can he get it out of them. Brian Kelly is kind of a me guy. He's all about himself. Yeah. We all know that. And, he's lost that opener every year and could lose it again this year. I think at Clemson, I'm on the Clemson bandwagon, to be honest with you.
So, you love some Dabo.
I don't really like him. I always call him Zeppo, but I think they've got a really good team and a good quarterback, and they don't have a tough. Once they get by that LSU game, man, if they can win that game, he could go 16-0. Now, obviously, you're going to have to win 3 playoff games, and that's not going to be easy because you're going to be playing really good teams. And I wonder sometimes how much that affects you if you're an ACC team and you finally get into the playoff and you're like, Oh, now we got to play real teams because ACC's not very good.
But, I mean, I guess it could be Miami, certainly, as you said in the first hour, could win the national title. But then after that, so that's 9 and 10. Arizona State, Illinois, South Carolina.
I don't think Illinois is good enough to win that national. I don't think South Carolina is good enough to win the Natty.
Michigan, no.
I don't know much about Michigan, to be honest with you, this year.
Gators.
I don't see that happening.
SMU, Kansas State, Oklahoma, A&M, Indiana, Ole Miss.
I think A&M and Oklahoma both. I would put them as in that category. I think A&M is going to be, and I think A&M may end up being the toughest game Florida has this year at Texas A&M. I think they're going to be really good this year. Just my thought. But again, who cares what I think? Because eventually they're going to be playing games. And then I can come in and really tell you what I think.
Better way to do it.
After watching Florida struggle with Long Island and only won 38-3, I am convinced they're not going to be any good.
Well, if you care about what Pat thinks or just want to talk to him, you can call us up. 392-8255. We'll step aside for a break. Get more of your phone calls right after this.
From the College of Journalism and Communications, ESPN 98.1 FM and 850 AM WRUF.
Every morning, I get up, start the trek into town for a busy day ahead, and every morning, I kid you not, I pass an ugly green van or truck along the way, heading to work as well. But the best part of that sight is I know someone is about to be wowed with the craftsmanship and work ethic from days gone by with the technology of today, because that vehicle has Vintage Electric written across the side. And that quality is evident all over North Central Florida, and with more than 24 licensed journeyman technicians, you can be assured that a call to Vintage Electric is a call you won't forget. Now, I'm sure there's tons of you out there with honeydews up the wazoo, and if any of those have to do with electricity, call Vintage Electric today. No job's too small, they do it all, from service upgrades to rewiring, appliance and AC circuits, and how about an entire smart home installation? That way you can just ask Alexa to turn on the tailgate. So have them put their tailgate down, grab their tools, and sit back and know your electric job is going to be done right. Call up Vintage Electric today at 371-8021 or visit them online at vintageelectric.net.
Hey y'all, it's Kyle from Leonardo's Pizza, Gainesville's iconic restaurant. You know, time zooms by and our town is changing all around us, but for 50 years, Leonardo's is still the calm in the storm. At Leonardo's, of course, we make delicious deep dish pizza and our famous garlic knots, but we sell memories. Come in to relive old ones, make new ones, and let us know that you heard me on the tailgate for 10% off your order. Hey Jeff, did you hear the new Starship song?
No, I don't think so.
We built this city on sauce and dough.
Well, we know it is crazy hot outside, so Oaks Jewelry said, let's bring everybody inside and have a sizzling summer sale. They've been bringing you the bling for more than 40 years. Yes, that's 4 decades of sparkle, sass, and some seriously good deals. Right now, get 20% off all color stone jewelry, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, basically all the fancy stuff that makes your friends say, ooh, where'd you get that? They've got diamond earrings and pendants, 20% off. Diamond fashion rings, also 20% off, because who says you can't treat yourself and still afford the groceries? You need a reason to be fashionably on time? You can get 30% off all Citizen watches. They're solar powered, so you'll always be on time, at least in theory. And hey, why wait? Lay away now for the holidays, because nothing says I've got my life together like Christmas shopping in July. It's the Oaks Jewelry Sizzling Summer Sale, celebrating 40 plus years of sparkle, style, and saving you some serious cash.
When the unexpected happens, you need a legal team that's ready to fight for you, just like the Florida Gators. At Meldon Law, we're proud to partner with the Florida Gators to deliver winning results for those who have been injured at no fault of their own. With a strong record of success and a team that won't back down, Meldon Law is your trusted partner in tough times. Call Meldon Law at 352-373-8000 or visit us at meldonlaw.com.
We are your home for the Rays, the Lightning, and the Bucks. We are proud to bring Tampa to Gainesville. ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF.
This is the voice of the Gators, Sean Kelly, and you're listening to The Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Pat Dooley, right here on ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF, the home of the Florida Gators.
Just a small town girl. That sounded just like Steve Perry, didn't it?
I thought it was him. I didn't even know you were talking.
Great story. One guy asked Freddie Mercury one time, "What's it like to be the greatest singer in the world?" He goes, "You'd have to ask Steve Perry." And there's an argument. I still would go with Freddie. Freddie would be number one on my list.
Yeah, because of the range.
Yeah. Well, they had the extra incisors or something that made the voice come out. Greatest, the best. Now that I don't even want to try to sing. I've never tried to sing any Freddie Mercury songs.
Nope.
Except maybe Fat Bottom Girls.
Make that rock and roll go round. Let's get the Cattleman in here to join us on the show. Hey, Cattleman.
Hey, guys. It's been a few days. Y'all staying straight?
We're doing our best.
I tried to hit y'all yesterday, but y'all were handing out free oysters and free Johnson City tomato sandwiches at Spurrier's. I didn't want to get in the way of somebody's gift card.
That was a good time.
Yeah, okay. Guys, don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I'll vote for Andrea Bocelli, the blind guy, little Conte Porter out there in Vegas.
I actually saw him live with Celine Dion back in the day.
Yeah, she's awesome also. I think she had some health trouble, of course. All right, guys, a little content here. We want to go to the Pat Dooley School of Negative Rooting, a discipline thought, and maybe one thing about the Florida USF game. Hey, by the way, Pat, I caught your hit on SEC Now. I've been tuning in a little more since we're getting closer to the season. Caught your hit the other day. I was asking you about your kind of changing thoughts about Lagway's health going back to, say, St. Patrick's Day, but don't want to do that today. Hey, guys, ESPN is out of topics. They've been doing a great job in the off season, and they were promoing for the 100th time the Clemson-LSU game, which might be the best Week 0/Week 1 game. And it got me to thinking, guys, I've got a third nomination, and the floor is open for amendments. But are Brian Kelly and Dabo Swinney, if you're not a fan, if you don't have a dog in the fight, on a Power 5 level, Power 4, whatever's left, are they the two most unlikable coaches in America?
Wow, I think Gundy's up there, but I don't disagree with you on that. That's why I'm going to have a hard time figuring out who to root for in that game.
Well, Gundy, as we all know, he likes to use other schools when it comes contract time. He flirts with a school, and can't blame him for that. Leverage, I guess. Never found him personally unlikable, but Brian Kelly, of course, he lost me when the scissor lift tragedy happened at Notre Dame. For people who don't know, he sent a trainer or an underling up on a scissor lift on like a 40-something degree windy day. And Dabo's obviously for years been the biggest phony in college football. I probably agree with his politics over a beer or two, but going all the way back to little old Clemson and their cult church they run up there that he says doesn't exist. I just find Dabo and Brian Kelly to be the two most unlikable figures in the sport. Do y'all have any? I've got a third nomination. Do y'all have one?
I think I don't know. I wouldn't put Lincoln Riley in there, but I root against him all the time. I don't know why. I don't know. You may be right. James Franklin could. Because the way he covered up things at Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Pat, man, that's why we always think alike. That's where I was going. But a lot of people don't like Lane Kiffin, of course. He's polarizing.
I don't know. I've gotten to where I'm okay with Lane.
Yeah, I'm good with Lane.
Yeah, but y'all moving along here, guys. But y'all like this on the laugh line. Y'all know what and Penn State's thought to be great this year. Y'all know what the James Franklin detractors call him up there in Penn State? I probably mentioned this before. I find it hilarious.
No.
What his nickname is? I use a regular season Rick for my neck of the woods in basketball season. They call him Big Game James, Pat. You know why? Because he can't beat Ohio State, can't beat Michigan.
It's
but
funny because they used to call Stoops Big Game Bobby, but he was winning all the big games. That was what they called him.
His brother was going to be my pick when you guys went Franklin. I don't like Mark Stoops at all.
Yeah,
he's one that I dislike.
Yeah,
and Drinkwater can't stand Eli.
Deion's polarizing, but James Franklin had that rape scandal.
I'm okay with Deion now. What he's had to go through, I'm okay with him. I feel his pain. So I'm not going to root for him, but I'm just saying I'm not going to root against him.
Yeah, but James Franklin had that rape scandal at Vanderbilt and all that. He's just kind of whatever on that, but kind of got me to thinking there. Dabo and Brian Kelly. and in that one.
Yeah. So who you rooting for in that game?
Man, I ain't thought about it, Pat. I generally probably shoot Clemson, I guess. I don't know.
You better get ready. It's only 2.5 weeks away, man.
Yeah, and this Iowa, the Farmageddon thing looks great too. By the way, for people who are starting to tune in a little more. Hey, just two things for you here, guys. Player discipline we've talked about a lot. Tennessee had a wide receiver get pinched over the weekend on a traffic violation, a la the Georgia tree, and he was had dirty laundry, failure to appear in court, suspended license. This is where I'm going with this. So we talk a lot about how nobody gets kicked off for discipline anymore because they'll just hit the portal. Guess what he presented? The guy's name's Brazil, Adams, or Himes, when you're not talking LSU with Himes, Pat, can tell you. Guess what he presented at his traffic stop?
I don't know.
A passport.
Oh, he did. I did read that, yeah. Well, he was probably using it because he was going to get in the portal.
Yeah, but I mean, I talk a lot about super speeding down there with AR-15, and we all talk about the Georgia super speeding. But do traffic citations matter anymore?
I don't know. It matters if it's something, obviously if you're going 100. In fact, Myles Garrett, I think, got pulled over and got a ticket for going over 100 the other day.
Oh, yeah.
But it is silly and stupid. But if when it causes a problem and causes somebody to be injured, and like
putting somebody
Rice,
in harm's way, that's brutal.
Yeah, I mean,
it should mean something, but I would agree with you. They don't.
Yeah, they call it a knucklehead season for a reason. The regular Joe better have a driver's license, and this dude I mentioned did go to jail. He did get arrested, but just there's that. And last thing real quick on the way out the door, guys. I was asking y'all about USF last week. I knew this, but he kind of forgotten. USF, this goalish guy coming off of Heupel's buddy, he's starting to be viewed as the brains behind the early UT Hendon Hooker days.
Yep.
And can you tell me a little more about USF's offense, Pat? Are they video game stuff, high tempo? What do you guys know about USF? Because if he's got his ducks in a row and they're running video game stuff, that game might not be a cakewalk.
Well, no, I think they're going to be better, but they don't have the same kind of personnel that a Florida or a team like that has, and it'll be interesting to see how it works out. But he's a guy that I think a lot of people like and think he's going to be.
There was even talks that he could be brought here, which would have never happened, but just because of the creativity and some of the comparisons to where we were yesterday, and that guy, some guy named Spurrier. But I mean, they didn't necessarily light it up. I think they were just over 400 yards a game, which everybody's doing nowadays, and they averaged 30.8 points per game. So that's like 30th nationally. So it's nothing special in the AAC.
Yeah, and they've been a 500 team. I mean, they won 2 bowl games against crappy teams, but other than that, they're 12-12 under him. So we'll see. Yeah. But I agree with you. I don't think if Florida thinks it's a cakewalk, they shouldn't. They shouldn't look at it that way.
Well, does USF run the high tempo, very quick plays? Or they run a high tempo system?
Yeah, they do.
I assume they do.
They do, and it's a lot of.
They were second in the country behind Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's a lot like Tennessee in that they want to get you. They want to keep your personnel on the field, and
20 seconds per play. It is exactly that.
Y'all hang in there.
All right. Thanks, Cattleman.
It's trying to get Gator fans upset because now they're worried about USF. They weren't usually worried about it.
Don't worry. Nick, what's up? Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Hey, I was just thinking, all the hype that there is about all these first-time QBs, not just in the SEC, but even just around college football in general. Who do you think will be the biggest bust that, maybe is that 5-star quarterback or highly acclaimed quarterback, but is going to end up being the Bobby Sablehouse of this year?
You mean a Florida player?
No, just college football in general. Yeah, just any team.
Don't dog my guy Bobby Sablehouse now. He's a friend of mine. So, but no, obviously things didn't work out here. That's a great question. I haven't really thought it through, but my first reaction would be whoever doesn't win the job at Ohio State, because there's still talk about both those guys being they're still competing for it, and the guy who doesn't is probably going to go end up playing at Incarnate Word or something, and could be a bust there. That would be where I'd be leaning.
Yeah, those are good choices. What about on the flip side of that, in terms of teams that maybe are outside of the top 10 or nowhere on anyone's radar, like the Indiana? Who's going to be that team this year?
Another good question.
Well, to me, it's UNLV. I think I think Mullen can be pretty special with what he's doing. I mean, he brought in some dudes too. He knows how to coach.
He inherited a good team that won a lot of games.
They don't have to play a ton of really quality opponents. So to me, that would be the one team that could sneak into the playoff.
The other one I think, and you mentioned earlier, was Auburn. We're not sure about how good Auburn's going to be, but they might be pretty good, and they better be pretty good, because you know how fast they'd like to fire coaches there.
Yeah, and I'd like to look at Texas Tech's schedule too.
Texas Tech, they've been bringing in.
They keep bringing in all these dudes, and they're paying everybody. So obviously the roster's pretty decent. So we'll see. But those would be the kind of randoms. But I just we were talking about it earlier, Nick. Like it's hard to fathom that like an Illinois or a Kansas State or an SMU teams like that are ranked inside the top 20 would even be relevant and be able to do that. And even South Carolina's ranked too high for me at 13. It's kind of stupid.
Agree with that.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Hey, and Jules, for your taste for beer, so how come Coach doesn't have an IPA? That's what you need to do, is get him to get an IPA going.
He does, but he likes the he likes that. What did he say? It was a combination of regular Coors.
No, it's like a Blue Moon and
Blue Moon and
Stella and
regular Coors. That's what he said. Yeah.
But yeah, I try to talk him into like a hazy would be kind of right up his alley. Would be pretty good.
Well, the 5220 is kind of an IPA, isn't it?
Not really.
It's good. That's what I drink.
Yeah.
And I love the score still.
Yeah.
You do.
I'm going to have to try that. All right, guys, thanks a lot.
All right, Nick, appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, Cattleman, you need to be watching on week 0, we're still going to call it that, I guess, Boise State playing host to USF. So we get to get a little look at you'll know all about USF after the game if you watch it.
Boise State's ranked.
They are.
So
well, I think a lot of people rank them just because they go, I got to rank some team from the group of 5. So let me throw them in there.
Throw them in there. All right, we'll throw out some more stuff when we come back. Got to take a quick break. We'll continue the conversation, though, here on the Tailgate.
Anchored in the soul of Gator Nation and coming to you live from the second story of the CJC on the campus of the University of Florida. You are listening to ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF.
When the Florida heat kicks in, your home should be a place to cool down, not sweat it out. That's where Crystal Air and Water comes in, North Central Florida's trusted HVAC team for more than 20 years. Whether it's a quick repair or a full AC upgrade, Crystal Air makes it easy to keep your family comfortable with flexible financing options, including 0% interest for 12 months for qualified buyers. With simple monthly payments, getting a new AC system is easier and smarter than ever. So you can now focus on what really matters, keeping your home cool and your family happy. Call 352-333-0460 or visit acpenguin.com. Check out all your options and to apply online. Again, that's acpenguin.com, because every Florida family deserves cool comfort that they can count on. Crystal Air and Water, the area's #1 rated HVAC company for more than 20 years, and where your family's comfort is their family's business. License number CMC 1249384. All right, it's summer, sun's out, motivation's up, and yeah, abs are still in there somewhere. So you lace up the sneakers, hit the gym, maybe try a few crunches, a jog, a 500-pound squat, casual. Next thing you know, bam, your back is filing a formal complaint. But hey, don't panic. I've got a guy. Dr. Paul Gardner at Gardner Chiropractic and Injury. He's not just some guy with a fancy table. He's a coach, an athlete, and the go-to fix-it guy when your body goes, yeah, nope. From general adjustments to full rehab and therapy, he'll get you feeling like yourself again, minus the hobbling. And with access to MRIs, ultrasounds, x-rays, and even blood work, he cuts out the guesswork and gets it straight to the let's fix this part. You can find him right next to Gainesville Health and Fitness on University Avenue. The number, 352-727-4438. Gardner Chiropractic and Injury, the place to go when summer hits you back. We all want to have fun, and with the sun, there are so many ways to do it here in North Central Florida. The problem is that stuff is so expensive nowadays, and just to get enough stuff to get it going is going to cost you an arm and a leg, unless you head to Play It Again Sports. Golf clubs, baseball bats, exercise equipment, disc golf, pickleball paddles, water sports stuff, bikes, and lacrosse gear are just a fraction of the things in the store, and you can get them at a fraction of the price. There's no need to buy new, and they've got a heck of a crew ready to help you with whatever you need. So don't let outrageous costs stop you from enjoying the outside. Head on over to Play It Again Sports.
Greg Cassidy here for the team at Campus USA Credit Union. You know how important they are to me and my family, but they've been around 90 years now, so they've been important to a lot of you too. The head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, is in studio with me today. Coach, you got your Heisman way back in 1966, and you learned a lot over the years how important both leadership and teamwork are if you want to accomplish your goals.
Oh, definitely. Almost any head coach that is successful, he's got to have good staff. He's got to have people to help him, and he's got to have players, too, obviously in sports, that can contribute to the success of the team. So team is very important, just like it is at Campus USA, and I'm proud to be part of that group.
And you can too. Become a Campus USA Credit Union member today. Find their ATMs at Publix or stop by one of their 20 area locations. You can also learn more at campuscu.com. That's campuscu.com. Campus USA Credit Union, member NCUA.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
It's been a hot afternoon, but we're going to get some cooling thanks to afternoon thunderstorms starting to develop. Already tracking a few storms at this point. We'll see a lot more in coverage as we go through the evening hours. Some of that rain will be heavy at times in some areas, so keep a close eye to the sky. Storms end by about midnight, low of 75. Hot sunshine for tomorrow, but afternoon scattered showers and thunderstorms will be around. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
If you had to bet right now, worst to first this year in their division, who would it be?
The Titans. A lot of people are very impressed with Cam Ward.
As am I, but over the Texans might have the best defensive league.
I don't foresee it, but if we had to pick a team, that's where I'm going.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekday mornings at 6 right here on WRUF. Our Gator coverage is so strong, we make National Geographic look like a petting zoo. We are ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF, the home of the Florida Gators. And now, more of the Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Pat Dooley, here on ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF, and online at WRUF.com.
All right, welcome back. Dools and Dozo here with you. A Tuesday edition of the Tailgate, having a good time as we always do. Guess Copper Gator got scared. He was on the line and he hung up.
Well, I just wanted to give you a quick look at what UNLV will be facing this year. They have one ranked team they have to play.
See, I told you.
Boise State, which is ranked 25th.
Yeah.
They open with mighty Idaho State. Can you name the nickname of that team?
The Chippewas.
I got to be honest. I don't
You don't
think
know
I
that
know.
one?
I know Idaho is the Vandals.
Idaho State might be the Potatoes.
It could be some kind of a potato-ish.
The Hash Browns.
The Bengals. Why are they the Bengals? How many Bengals are there in Idaho?
I mean, they could have been imported.
The Bengals. Okay, now I know it. Now I'll never forget it again. Sam Houston. Next. They got to go to Sam Houston, though, baby.
That's tough.
Then they get UCLA, which I don't know how good UCLA is going to be. Nico. Miami of Ohio, not the Miami. Wyoming, Air Force, Boise, New Mexico, Colorado State. I mean,
Mullen can.
So what would
he'll be different too. Like he'll come up with some plays that teams like that don't really know or have seen, and I think he'll do pretty well.
I think they would have to win 11 games and win their conference to get in. So I mean,
so go 11-1.
Well, and then 12-1. They have a conference game, but.
It's very easy to say that he'll be in the conversation, and then everybody will talk about how great of a coach he is and all that kind of stuff.
Nobody questions how good of a coach he is, but the question is, as you know, Jeff, coaching involves more than just play calling.
Yeah,
and he wasn't good at some of the.
Yeah, he didn't like doing all that other stuff.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't like talking to recruits.
This guy likes to get after it, though. No problems with that whatsoever. Let's welcome in the Swamp Train. Howdy, sir.
What's up, buddy? Hey, in about 2 weeks, we're going to be giving it to him, right?
Heck yeah.
Man, we got the train ready, baby. We're just sitting back waiting. The train is always ready. But I got two things I call right now. I got a problem right now, man.
Let's hear it.
I don't know what I'm going to do with Mr. Pat Dooley sitting over there next to you, man.
How much you can do with me?
I think about that all the time, Swamp Train.
Jeff, I feel your pain, my partner. But look at him. Pat Dooley been writing about sports for 40 years. And he's still going against the Gators right here. I can't believe Pat just sat up there and say, LSU stand a better chance of winning a championship other than over the Gators.
Yeah.
Are we serious right now? Hold it, Pat. I ain't done with you now. Now, Florida beat them people last year, whether it was home, wherever. We beat them last year.
They did.
And then on top of that, here's where I got a problem, too. LSU went in the transfer portal and pulled, 6 or 7 defensive tackles or whatever for one position. If Florida would have done that, the media boys would have ripped Billy Napier apart.
Well,
am I right or wrong?
No, well, the problem is they've been so bad on defense for the last 3 years, and they just didn't. And again, this goes back to they haven't recruited that well. They've recruited well at some other positions, but not in those, and so that's why they're trying to do it. And you're right. You never know how that's all going to mesh. You never know.
No, that's why I cannot put LSU over Florida. I think if you line the roster up, I think Florida got a better roster right now than LSU on paper. Do the research for me tomorrow. Let me know, because I got another bag of skinny popcorn I eat while listening to the show. So I'll be waiting till you go home and do your research and line them rosters up on paper. And then I want you to come back on the air, and I want to hear that apology letter that you write to the Gator Nation. You apologize for putting LSU above Florida for winning a natty for this year.
Okay.
Can we handle that?
I will do that if I feel it's true. I don't think it's going to be true.
Well, hey, Jeff, in the meanwhile, I need you to call Karen and make sure that Pat Dooley take care of that when he get home, because somebody got to get this straight. You understand me, Jeff?
I get you.
I'm going right to the computer as soon as I get home.
I need you to do that, though. The other thing, how you think that offense is going to go, Jeff, you and Pat, when now that you got Steve Spurrier Jr. and obviously Russ Callaway, right?
Yep.
That's on the offense. So how you think that go when they game plan is? I know Billy probably going to still call the plays. I get it. I ain't got no problem with the man calling plays. Hey, that's his football team. I'm on the Billy train, too. So how you think that go? Like, do they all three of them get together, or what's the play?
Yeah, I don't think Spurrier Jr. is going to be involved with any kind of the play calling. It'll be Callaway, I think, given input throughout the week, and part of that will be because that was the cool dynamic about the spring game. They had Callaway on one side calling all the plays, and then Napier doing the same for the other side. So I think he's got a very good understanding of what he wants to do, and inevitably it's Billy's team, so he wants to be the one calling the plays. But he's trusted Callaway more and more each and every year, and I think with the talent that they have, Swamp Train, they can be dynamic in a lot of different ways. I mean, Napier's, I think, mindset still wants to run the football, and that's what everything's predicated, the motion and having a quarterback that understands how to, separate that and find where the holes are. I mean, that's what football has turned into. But you've also then got Callaway on the other side, knowing that, hey, we've got a chance to get out of this, 12 personnel and get 4 wide receivers out on the field, and then who the hell is going to stop these 4 guys? Because, I mean, somebody's going to be open because that's how dynamic these guys can be. So I think you'll see different things of the offense this year, now in year 4, that we've ever seen before under Billy Napier.
And I do think that they recognized their faults in that the red zone offense wasn't very good. And I'm hoping that they've come up with alternatives to what they were trying to do. And a lot of times it was just run the ball up the middle and hope that you pound it in. It doesn't always work. Remember the Kentucky game? They had to kick like 90 field goals in that game because they couldn't.
Yeah. Tennessee, they couldn't get it in.
Couldn't get it
so
in.
that was the problem. They would have won that game if they could have scored.
That's what she said.
I know.
Well, I believe. Look at it, but y'all killed me with that. That's what she said. Y'all everything. I can go with you on that one right there. And then the other thing too, Mr. Pat Dooley, on that LSU stuff, man. LSU gave up all them sacks that night in the swamp against Florida, most they did all year long. And I heard they've been patching up that offensive line, and it still ain't what it's supposed to be. I got a good buddy up that way.
They lost their best player on the offensive line, who went to the NFL. He was first-round pick, right? Will Campbell? He was.
Yeah, he probably was.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of holes over there to try to fix, man. And then let's not forget that that coach over there, whatever his goddamn name, it done lost my mind.
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly. There you go. He lost the team last year, man. You just ain't gonna just come back next year.
Watching that thing on the every any given Saturday. And he did lose that team, and he lost them in that Alabama game, and then he lost them in the not the Alabama game. Who'd they lose to really badly? It might have been Alabama. I think it was 41-12 or something, and then they lose to Florida, and they get knocked out of the playoffs. So he did kind of lose that team.
Yeah, he lost that team. So you got to think: is that team gonna come back and really play for him? Did he get his trust back through those guys? It's a lot going on over there for. A lot of people out there in the media to put them before Florida and say, oh, this is the year they're going to win a national championship. I think this the year he might get – I don't know if he's going to get fired because the NIL out there, because they ain't got a lot of money like that. All these schools, they trying to hold a coach. So, he might not get fired.
It was 5 losses last year. It was 4 his first year, 3 the second year. So, I mean, he's never not lost at least 3 games there.
Yeah, I'm a big believer I'm a big believer that nobody gets fired this year. I think everybody.
I believe that too.
They're having to come up with this $20 million. Everybody's got pretty much coming up with it. Anybody who's got anybody good. When I say nobody, I'm not saying that somebody at another level might. But the biggest coaches, I don't think are going to get fired because they just can't pay those buyouts after paying this $20 million, after paying all the other things that they're having to deal with. So. I think you have to really stink it up to get fired this year.
Yep. Yeah, you got to do something crazy. But I got 2 more things here. I got the next thing is I got LSU going 8-4 this season. I got them at 8-4.
Okay.
So that national championship is out the window for me. And my last thing is that wherever that guy that's named Psycho Gator, I need you to call in and get Pat Dooley down there at that Gator logo like you've been doing the other years. Wherever
he's been threatening me with that,
I need him to pull Pat Dooley down there if Pat don't come back tomorrow with them facts, what we just talked about. Y'all boys
be checking receipts. Thanks, Swamp Train.
Yeah, well, I mean, I need to check some receipts.
We'll do that. All right, we got to get one final break. We'll knock that out and come back with a few more phone calls.
By the way, Will Campbell was the 4th pick in the draft. I don't know how I forgot that, but
pretty darn good. Back with more right after this.
From the heart of campus and the College of Journalism and Communications on Stadium Road, ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF.
You spoke, we listened. You wanted the easiest car buying experience ever. At Gatorland Toyota, we give you the easiest car buying experience ever. With Express Shopping, you can shop and buy your vehicle entirely from home. We'll even deliver your car to you. Want a customized Toyota? With our pre-order program, you can get the exact Toyota you want. And if you have a vehicle you'd like to trade or sell, we'll buy it whether you buy from us or not. Come experience how Gatto's got it at Gatorland Toyota today. Visit GatorlandToyota.com for the easiest car buying experience ever.
Hi, this is Dr. Art Mowry of Exceptional Dentistry. Listen to what our clients have to say about their experience at Exceptional Dentistry.
I've been coming here since they've opened. They are the kindest, most giving people that you'll ever want to meet. I mean, they give before they ever get anything. I feel confident in smiling. I feel confident in speaking with people. You know, the older you get, the less your regular teeth look white and happy and smiling. I have that now. I just know if anybody is thinking or needs dental help, medical help, any way, shape, or form, if they come here, they will receive not only the help they need, but they will come out feeling like a better person for knowing people that are here. Because everybody here treats everybody like family. You know, you're not a patient here.
This is Dr. Kim Mowry, and if you think you have dental problems that are too big to overcome, we're here for you. Please visit us at exceptionaldentistry.com. That's exceptionaldentistry.com.
Hi, I'm the one they call James Bates, but my real name is Batesy. When I was your age, we never worried about being lit or glowing up or steez or anything like that. Only thing we ever cared about was being freaking radical. I mean, high-key rad AF. And TBH, that's what I look for when I need t-shirts, pens, cups, and koozies, and the like. I go to radwaredesigns.com. If you're not using Radware Designs for your t-shirts, pens, cups, and koozies, then your stuff is probably sus, like basic, and that's no cap. All lowercase. radwaredesigns.com.
Celebrate your love this summer at International Diamond Center and get a free romantic getaway on us. It's the Summer of Romance event, now for a limited time at IDC. Make any jewelry purchase over $3,500 and pack your bags for a free trip. It's a great time to get that engagement ring and let IDC buy your honeymoon. Here's how it works. If you spend $3,500, IDC will give you a 3-day, 2-night hotel getaway with a $100 Visa card for spending. Choose from a dozen romantic cities. Or spend $5,000 on her jewelry and IDC will give you a 3- or 4-night luxury cruise for 2. Spend $10,000 and you'll get a 5-day, 4-night stay at an upscale, tropical, all-inclusive resort. Choose from 4 countries. Listen, if you're getting engaged, celebrating an anniversary, or just want to get away for some romance, IDC has it covered. You buy the ring, we'll give the getaway. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Details and restrictions at shopidc.com. International Diamond Center at Celebration Point.
Electronics World has moved to serve you even better. Hi, this is Tom Collette. At Electronics World, we will continue to give you big box prices with local personal service. In a new spot, 3499 Northwest 97th Boulevard in Gainesville. At EW, you'll find Sony, Yamaha, Marantz, Powers & Wilkins, Martin Logan, and more. Also visit us online, electronicsworld.net. That's electronicsworld.net.
This is Hub Brown, Dean of the College of Journalism and Communications here at the University of Florida, and you are listening to ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF, the home of the Florida Gators.
This is Taylor Walls, and you are listening to The Tailgate right here on ESPN 98.1 FM, 850 AM, WRUF, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF radio app.
Who's this? Oingo Boingo?
No, I don't think so. It's this is that's Karen's favorite band. My Name is Rio. What's the name of the band? Duran Duran.
Oh yeah, Duran Duran.
Yeah,
very good. We don't have Jonah Duran. We got Ryan.
Okay.
What's up, Ryan?
Welcome back to studio, gentlemen.
Good to be back.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, I was in St. Augustine that whole week 2 weeks ago, and y'all had like that 3-week show or whatever, so it's been like 2 weeks for me, basically, so it's been a long time. I was jonesing.
We're sorry. We're sorry that we took a full week off.
No, I'm good. I did too. So it's all good. It's all good for y'all. But and hey, Pat, Jeff said something about new glasses. So I was wondering when you said Idaho State, maybe it's the Bengals, because I would think there'd be more people in Pocatello that would like an old female pop band than there would be Bengal Tigers running around.
First of all, I love the Bengals. That's one of my favorite groups. But no, they're called the Bengals, and I just can't. I guess they just said, "Hey, we can't come up with a good nickname. Let's just do what Cincinnati's doing."
Roll with something.
Because I'm going to look it up and see if there are any Bengal Tigers in the state of Idaho.
It is mountainous in that area, so they could have been the Pumas. The Cougars.
I think that's a tiger. No, it's actually a bobcat.
Well, speaking of that, somebody's glasses, and speaking of that, so this is terrible, but the little, like your arm or whatever you want to call it on the side, to hold your glasses on your face, the screw is coming loose, and I take my glasses off to look at it. I can't even see good enough to tell if it's a little Phillips head or a head or what. I can't even see it. I'm like, good God, I can't. Got to have somebody help me. But anyway, and other thing I was going to say, Pat, be careful what you ask for, because I'm guessing that day that you're talking about the Will Greer thing and all, you probably at some point said, Lord have mercy on me, and so be careful. Yeah, well, it was a interesting time to be laying there getting IVs for 5 days in an emergency room because I had MRSA. No, that's some serious junk.
MRSA is not fun. My friend Chris Harry had it in his hand so bad. He's still got the picture of it. He'll show it to you if you want to ask him.
And I have to correct y'all on the Braves. We did not sweep the Marlins. It felt like a sweep because it was that rare 5-gamer because we had the doubleheader on Saturday. Right, we lost Friday night. We put up 30 runs in 4 games, and, of course, they beat us like 5-1 on Friday. But I know y'all mentioned this briefly yesterday. I know with everything going on at Spurs, you didn't get on it much. But what a week for Waldrop because, he gets his first win. I mean, I know he didn't technically start, obviously, because he would come in on Sunday, which I think might have been better for him. He didn't feel the pressure of all the big hoopla and the grandiose of the night thing in Bristol. But he picks up his first win in Bristol, Tennessee at a racetrack, and then his second win he picks up when the first female – I know she wasn't behind the plate that day, but still it was her first time, female – we had one on the field, and so it's like his first 2 wins are pretty historic, which is kind of you'll never forget that.
Yeah, no, really cool. And Singer, got to go around in the car too. So I mean, there's a couple guys that you got to be a part of that. And I mean, it's so crazy to still think that there was never been like this major league game in the state of Tennessee. Like you think that's going to happen, but yeah, memorable for sure. I would assume he'll get to frame that jersey. And do some really fun stuff with it. What other states
have they never played a game in, do you think? Like
probably North Dakota.
Idaho.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't think Tennessee would be
left,
one of them.
You'd have thought. But and it's weird that technically it was a Reds home game. You'd have thought it had been because Tennessee's full of Braves fans. But the last thing we can be basically now is spoilers. We have done good in the division, so we get the Mets tonight. So we can just try to go out and knock them off. And
see what happens.
Yeah, that is the best they can do, unfortunately. But it is what it is.
All right, Ryan, appreciate you, man.
All right, gentlemen.
Good hearing from you.
Good hearing y'all.
All right, I guess with that, we done.
Yeah,
like
I didn't even.
Dishes are done,
I was gonna spend a good segment on something, and I'm just going to save it for tomorrow. How about that?
Sounds good.
Also tomorrow, Titan O'Neill.
Titus O'Neill.
Titan. No, I'm calling him Titan because it's a Titan MRI.
Yeah.
So it's Titan O'Neill now.
Okay. He probably might like that better.
See if he can change the name.
Make it happen. We don't want to change Maya's name. We like having her, so appreciate her help as always.
Great job as always, and we're back in the studio again tomorrow. We look forward to it as we always do. Until then, I am Pat Dooley. He is Jeff Cardozo. We are deep. We are way back, and we are out of here.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on